Hi Pisces, welcome to your January 2020 love and romance reading. This is going to be for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and yes, of course, Venus. Cross watchers, I know some of you aren't too happy with me because I stopped making cross watcher videos, but I'm going to be addressing you guys as well throughout the video. When messages pop in for cross watchers, I will share those with you, okay? So we're going to see what's happening for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus in love and romance, my darlings. Let's see. Alrighty, we're going to go ahead and pull 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And your first card here, you have 2 of Cups. Okay, so this is a really great card to have come up in a love reading, obviously. Anybody who's familiar with tarot knows this, that this is like that soulmate love, the happy relationship. And some of you may have already heard me say this in the past, but this has like an even extra special meaning for me in my readings, because a lot of the times, like when I'm doing private one-on-one readings, something I've noticed over the years, this card tends to come up a lot for people who are really, really upgrading their energy. Like they're ascending, they're breaking out of codependency, they're breaking out of relationships where communication has been an issue. It's this turnaround where you're really learning to have a healthy relationship. And for a lot of people, it's like the first time in their life that they're having that kind of a relationship. And the thing that I love most about it is, to me, it signifies that you're breaking out of a cycle of relationships where you're always the one giving. Like you're doing all the work to keep the relationship together. You're bending over backwards. You're just doing all this stuff to make a relationship work. And you get tired of it. And 2 of Cups says now you're finally in a relationship with someone that they've been through the same thing. They were always giving in the relationship and getting nothing back. But now these 2 givers have found each other and they're just giving to each other back and forth, right? It's like the ideal relationship. Those are the relationships that succeed. Those are the relationships that are the happiest. When you have a relationship where each person is thinking about, how can I make my partner happy? What can I do for them today? When each person is putting the other person first, you guys are going to be very happy, because it's like, wow, they're so good to me. That just fills me with so much love and appreciation. I'm so motivated to do something for them. And it just goes back and forth in a positive way. So this is coming up as your first card, and a lot of times for me that's kind of like the foundation or the theme of a situation. So you're coming into the energy of like, this is what you're creating. Either you're with this person in January, or January is the time when the energy is clearing and shifting and heading you, aligning you to this kind of a situation, this kind of love. Whatever the case, Pisces, this being your first card tells me you all are ready for this. Like you're not looking to find a little band-aid to cover up the boo-boo. You're not looking for somebody for just right now. You're not interested in chasing or begging anybody for anything. You're not interested in jumping through hoops for anybody's attention. You're ready for that real deal, like, you know, I'm with this person because this is the right person for me, and not out of a thing of like, oh, I just don't want to be alone, right? And maybe some of you in the past have done that, but you're like, you're healed, you're grown, you're over it, you're ready to be with the right person for you, where you're even in the energy, you're like, you know what, I'd rather be alone than be with the wrong person. So you're aligning with this 2 of Cups energy. Next we have here, my dears, the High Priestess, and this is really special. This is super duper special, and I'll tell you why. The High Priestess is a card that, you know, different readers are going to say different things. I have read in my research, some people say, oh, the High Priestess is Earth, and it represents the period of Virgo, and it applies to Virgo. But I think most people will attribute the High Priestess with the Moon aspect, the water aspect, and gravitate more towards Pisces. I consider High Priestess a Pisces card. And when your major arcana card comes up in a reading, for me, the way that I read it tells me that you have power in the situation. So whatever's happening in your love life in January, Pisces, I feel that the power is, you have the power. The ball is in your court. whether something's gonna move forward or not, it's up to you. And if you're finding yourself in a situation where you're having to, I don't want to say give somebody an ultimatum, because I don't believe in ultimatums, but if you're finding yourself in a relationship where you haven't been having your needs met, you're finding yourself like really moved to speak up and say something. Like, I don't feel we spend enough time together, or I don't feel like we're emotionally intimate enough, or I don't feel like we sleep together enough, or whatever it is. Like, you're in this energy where you're ready to speak up and to ask for what you need, because you're gonna find that you're having temptations. And I do think, Pisces, you're in this energy where it's make it or break it in a current relationship for those of you who are in a relationship. And those of you who are single, you're finding yourself in an energy where you're feeling like you have to make some choices, you have to make some decisions, some attention is coming in, and you're having to look at like old patterns. Like, does this person show me old patterns? Is this person really, like, they're being persistent, but how serious are they about me? You're kind of in that element. So cross watcher, if you're watching for a Pisces, if you are in a relationship with this Pisces, chances are they are beginning to realize what they feel they're not getting from you. And there may be some resentments. So maybe some of you are getting some passive aggressive behavior from a Pisces, or your Pisces is seeming distant. It's because they're starting to realize what their needs are and what they want and what they need and what they feel is missing. And they might be trying to work up the courage to let you know what they need more of. Your Pisces is in High Priestess energy, so you need to understand something. When the High Priestess card comes up, somebody begins really connecting with their higher self. They really begin connecting with their intuition. So cross watcher, if you've been doing something you know Pisces doesn't like, or bothers Pisces, and you've been doing it on the down low, they're sensing and they're picking up on those things. Especially if you've kind of had somebody on the back burner, or if you've kind of had like this little safety net in case things don't work out with Pisces. Pisces is very sensitive to that. Pisces is feeling that. Pisces is sensing that. And that might be a conversation they're getting ready to have with you. Okay? And I think this is a case or a situation where honesty is going to be the best policy. Because I really do feel like their intuition is very heightened, and Pisces is going to figure out if there's anything that's been covered up, if there's anything that's not on the up and up. Their intuition is going to lead them to seeing what has been happening behind their back. And I know not all of you cross watchers are like, up to something like that, but for those of you that might be, that is a message that's coming in. You can't fool Pisces in January. Okay, even if it's something that's been happening for a long time, I think in January, Pisces is going to be in this energy where they're going to be able to uncover stuff if anything is being hidden. Also, when you're in High Priestess energy, those of you who have watched my readings, you've heard me say this before, but you're going to be attracting a lot of attention because you're aligned with the higher self and you have your healing energy moving through you, and you're healing yourself and you're connecting with your intuition and your spiritual sense. You're going to have a lot of people who are a little bit broken or a little bit damaged that are reaching out to you. It's not because there's something wrong with you. It's not because, I must have something wrong with me and my energy must be low vibrational that these, very hurt people are gravitating towards me. Actually, it's on the contrary. Your energy is at such a high vibration. You're very irresistible. It's like a candle in a dark room. All the moths are going to come rushing at it. You're just attracting a lot of energies. And Pisces, this is where you need to be real. Okay, you need to be real. You may be in a relationship with someone and all of a sudden you have either a person or persons, for some of you, that is very persistently rushing at you. And you might feel like, wow, we have such a powerful connection and I think this person is my soulmate. But the truth of it is this person has some void. This person has some kind of, damage, and they're looking at you to heal them. Okay, we all have damage. I'm not saying this in a negative way. I'm not saying this in a way to put down the person that's rushing at you. I always say there's nothing like love to bring out our crazy. I say it about myself too, and I don't mean it in a negative way. I mean it that, like, no matter how much you heal yourself, when you really start liking somebody or having hope in a relationship, it's really easy to go to that insecure place, or the fear, or the paranoia. It's very easy for those things to creep up. So this person that might be pursuing you very persistently, it's because they feel like you're going to be able to heal something within them. And you're wanting to align with that Two of Cups. You're wanting to have that equal exchange. And some of you are you know, on the verge. You're on the cusp of breaking out of codependency into aligning with Two of Cups. But since you're in that High Priestess energy, you're going to have codependent people still wanting to be with you. But I feel like you're waking up and you're seeing the truth of it. I feel like you're waking up and you're seeing, you're beginning to see the telltale signs of, okay, well, maybe this person is not, you know, really coming up in a way that's going to be good for me. They're coming up in a way where this is going to be codependent. Cross watcher, if you're dealing with a Pisces, or if you're really attracted to a Pisces, I think Pisces is going to respond really, really well to like healthy kind of energy, or somebody that's coming at them with a healthier energy, especially if they have a lot of people coming after them right now. Like, that will stand out more to them. So it might be a good idea for you, to cross watcher, to look into like signs of codependent relationships, or like how, like, to do the opposite of a codependent relationship. Like, this could be something that is really going to help you to stand out. You know, for some of you that might be in a situation where you feel like, well, hey, there's like all these people that want Pisces. So just a little word for cross watcher. Next we have here Ten of Swords. Gosh, goodness gracious. So this is it. You're realizing who or what has been holding you back. And some relationship is at a make it or break it situation for some of you Pisces. I feel like you're making a decision. Those of you in a relationship, you're finally deciding if you're going to stay with this person and cut out the temptations, or if you're ending the relationship with this person and you're going to explore your temptations. This is a general reading. We all have free will and we make our own decisions. So you all are not going to be making the same exact decision, but Pisces, you are having to choose what you're doing in your relationships in January. Those of you who are single, Ten of Swords makes me feel you are beginning to cut out everything and everyone who has been sabotaging you in your love life, okay? A lot of times people get very scared when they see Ten of Swords, but the feeling and the vibe that I'm getting from Ten of Swords is, one of the meanings of Ten of Swords is ending addiction. And we have addiction in a lot of different ways, guys. It can be a person, a relationship. It's not always drugs and alcohol. It's not always food. It's not always, you know, physical comforts. Sometimes we do things that sabotage ourselves. And I really feel this really strong feeling or vibe of breaking away from codependency. I really do feel that. If you're a Pisces where you've been working on that, congratulations. I feel January is the time that you're really healing this and you're like breaking out of it once and for all. Some of you have had really negative people in your ear that have been making you feel bad about yourself, or always making you feel like the people you're dating aren't good enough, or making you feel like, you know, you can't trust anybody, or interfering with your business, or who'd you go out with, would you do, like you're cutting away from those people. Like, you're realizing this is not good energy. This is energy that's holding me back. This is energy that's making me not like myself. Anything and everything that's been making you feel insecure, that's where I feel Ten of Swords is coming in. Like, you're just done with it. You're cleaning house in that way. And for a lot of you, you know, this is, you're finally breaking out of a very toxic back and forth. Whether it's codependent or toxic, you're putting an end to that. Really, honestly, what it is like I said, you have the power in the situation. And, you know, this person is going to have to step up. That High Priestess energy tells us that you may have this person being very persistent and not hearing you the first couple of times when you're saying it's over, or when you're saying you don't want to see them anymore. Or, you know, you may be trying to do it in a nice way, like, oh, I need some time, or, you know, I just need some alone time, or I'm going through a lot, or I'm busy. Like, they're going to keep coming at you. With that High Priestess energy, it's the moth rushing towards the candle. You're going to have to speak up, Pisces, and you're going to have to flat out say, I don't feel this way for you. or, you know, I need to take like a real legit break. Some of you might be doing some kind of a trial separation. It's a big decision to make, but I really feel like a lot of you are just really feeling hungry and ready for real love. Like, you're like, I don't want a placeholder. I don't want somebody who's just kind of here as like a band-aid, or here just like for the sake of not being alone. And you're really wanting to open the door to like real soulmate kind of love. And whatever's been holding you back, you are clearing that out of the way. Next, Pisces, we have the Fool. Yep. See, and this is major arcana. So you might be making decisions in your love life in January that don't make sense to your friends and family. I feel that a lot of the times with the Fool card. You know, the Fool card is like, you know, you're just really ready, like you're feeling called or you're feeling pulled towards someone or something. You're really ready to go in a new direction and do things in a way you haven't done them before. And you can't seem to ignore it. Like, it's this leap of faith that you're taking. And for some of you, you're taking a leap of faith out of a relationship and you're spending some time alone. Some of you may be leaping into a relationship. This is a general reading, and you guys are at different places in your journey. I can't sit here and say for 1,000 people or 5,000 people or 10,000 people that you, or even 100 people or even 10 people, that you guys are going to make the same exact decision and that you guys are in the same exact place in your journey. We're all different ages, different experiences. We're in different places in our journey. And so for some of you, you're taking this leap into self-discovery, into singleness. Some of you are leaping into a relationship, depending on where you are and what you need for your learning experience. And whether you're jumping into being single or jumping into a relationship, you're going to have comments from the peanut gallery. There's going to be people like, Pisces, what in the heck are you doing right now? And you're just like, I don't know what to tell you. I really feel like this is what I need to do. And when the Fool card comes up, you're making the decision. Like, you're doing it. There's really no way around it. You're just feeling like you have to answer this call or you have to go in this direction. My only advice to you when the Fool card comes up, well, number one, yes, it is a part of your life lesson, your life path. It is kind of something that's destined for you. Just make sure you're going into it with a clear calculation. Make sure you've thought about what some of the challenges might be that might come up, what some of the delays may be, some of the ways in which you need to be prepared for it. I'm all about taking a leap of faith, but take a cautious one, right? I always liken to it, if you're going to quit your job and if you're going to work on your dream, have some in-between plan before you go in there and you just kind of quit on the spot. I've done that before. I quit a regular full-time job to focus on my dream and to, you know, get into my spiritual work. But I had an in-between. I had a couple of gigs set aside. I had, you know, clients from my tarot business that, you know, provided a certain amount so that I could make rent and things like this. I was doing like DoorDash and just things like that. Like, I just had things in place. I didn't just, it was a risk. It was a leap of faith, but it was done in a safe kind of way, like in a way to where I could navigate through the changes. So whether you're jumping into being single, you know, moving out of somebody's place or moving in with someone or coming into this new relationship, just make sure you've kind of thought about your safety net. Make sure you've thought about how you can do this in a way where it's still going to be safe for you, where you're not going to feel like, you know, you're in this boat with no paddle. You get what I'm saying? You guys get what I'm saying? But I really, really feel like you Pisces, you guys are really, really manifesting that true soulmate kind of energy. And you're being guided in the direction to be aligned with that. Your next card here, my darling, is the Knight of Wands. So this is happening fast. This is happening very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. You know, gosh, I know Knight of Wands is a card. Those of you that watch my videos, you hear me say Knight of Wands is here for a good time, but he's not here for a long time. And I tend to say this is someone who comes in and out a lot. Gosh, I'm not really getting that essence of this card for you guys in this particular reading. Okay, the energy is different in this reading. The energy that Knight of Wands is coming up with is more about the fast motion, things happening quickly, having to make big decisions without a whole lot of time to think or decide. and really just kind of rushing in, like taking control of a situation. It feels more of like an impulsiveness to me, right? Or making decisions where time is of the essence. You're going to make some really massive, really fast changes in your love life in February, Pisces. But it's happening because you're aligning with that true soulmate energy. I feel for whatever reason, for the collective energy, for the Pisces that ended up watching this video, I feel there's big changes happening for you in Pisces season. And I feel moving into like the end of March into April. I know it's after Pisces season, but I feel like by the end of March to beginning of April, you guys are feeling very happy and very, very fulfilled in your love life. There's like this whirlwind kind of feeling. So even if this person isn't here in January, understand and know things are happening in January that are aligning you with a really big love. That's just the best way I can put it into words, Pisces. And for a lot of you, you're like, it's a long time overdue. Okay? Cross Watcher, I think what Pisces needs now is support, understanding, a sense where they're being allowed to be themselves. If they're feeling in any way like you're being suspicious of them or you're being critical of their decisions or choices, they're gonna back away. Pisces can't handle that right now. Pisces is growing. They need to be commended. They need to be appreciated. They do need some space. So if you are in a relationship with a Pisces and you want the relationship to work out, I just feel like Pisces has their mind really made up. They're not going to really compromise too much. So Crosswatcher, you also may have a choice or a decision. Can you give Pisces what Pisces is asking for? Or are you just going to say, no, this relationship isn't going to work for me? Big decisions need to be made here. But Pisces is manifesting this. So it's like you're on board or you're not. And that's just, it's a make it or break it situation. I don't think there's a lot of wiggle room here. I don't think there's a lot of, oh, well, they'll change their mind, or like, this is it. This is do or don't. This is, we're going to make it or we're going to break it energy. So don't be mad at me, Crosswatcher. I just have to say what I feel in the energy. And you Pisces will have to say in the comments like what you would want a Crosswatcher to know or what you would want your person to know. But I just feel Pisces has made up their mind. And they're going to get this one way or another, with or without you. And I'm not saying this in a mean way. I know some of you might be very upset hearing that, but that's the vibe I'm feeling from Pisces, which is interesting because Pisces are usually seen as, you know, really compromising, really peaceful, really like wanting to be like, you know, just, you know, play it cool and be understanding and not rock the boat. But Pisces means business. Pisces knows what they need and they don't want to go without it anymore. That's just, I'm gonna be flat out with you there. So I thank you all for watching. If you would like a private reading, you can click on the Calendly link to book a private reading, or you can watch your Moon, Rising, Venus videos, see if those resonate with you more for your love life energy. And guys, I know love is super important. I get it. It's a part of the human experience. We all want to be loved. But don't forget to watch the weekly forecasts on my channel. There I focus more on business, career, family stuff, all the other important parts of life outside of love and romance. So don't forget about you in that aspect. Make sure that you watch that as well. And I thank you guys so much for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing. I am wishing you an amazing January, and don't forget to watch your 2020 forecasts, guys. I did a 12-month reading. Those took a long time. I know they're long, but they're very detailed, guys. 12 month by month forecast for 2020. So check those out on the channel as well. I am wishing you a fabulous month, my dears. Take care.